Ron Moshier is the man. He's had a very, very busy weekend. Ron, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Bill.
Ron,
I'm recovering.
Utica OD and utica.od.com, and what a busy, busy weekend.
You know, Ron, not enough hours in the day.
I sort of spent the weekend at Onondaga Community College for the second straight weekend, but it was a great time. It's a great venue. Again, I have to reiterate, I just wish we didn't have to hold an Oriskany New York Mills championship game in Syracuse. Yeah. But anyway, it started off the day on Saturday morning, and it was a great game against two great programs. And, you know, Oriskany had to beat New York Mills a third time this season to win their first Section 3 title.
And you know, I watched the game as well. I got to tell you, it was, I mean, a commanding victory for Oriskany. I mean, New York Mills did come back, but Oriskany seemed to never really lose control of that game.
Well, you know, here's what a good start Oriskany got off to. It was so good that not even Terry Nichols and company could come back from it this time. You know, I covered the last regular season meeting between the two at New York Mills, and that's when New York Mills erased a 17-point halftime lead. So you knew the outcome was still in doubt, but every time New York Mills made a run, they couldn't make a stop defensively, and that's what Mike Adie said after the game. I mean, Oriskany just kept coming back and coming back. They always had an answer. You know, the point guard, Marcus Smithling, just broke them down defensively and got layup after layup when, you know, in the fourth quarter when it was sort of desperation time for New York Mills. I think, I don't have it right in front of me, but I'm pretty sure Smithling finished with 27, which is a career high. And he was 7 for 7 in the fourth quarter, and they were all layups, either on run-outs on the fast break or breaking down the defense. So, no, great. You know, Oriskany's got just too many weapons, I think. And, it was the end of a great career for Terry Nichols. But, you know, Oriskany marches on 24-0 and going to face an unbeaten South Courtright team this Saturday, and hallelujah, right down the street from me in Whitesboro. So,
well, you know, I got to tell you, it's interesting. I mean, and by the way, Oriskany's undefeated too, right?
Oh yeah, 24-0,
undefeated, 24-0. So I thought it was interesting, Coach Adie calling timeout with just, I don't know, a couple of seconds left in the game, and I'm man, he is just going to fight till the very end. But really, I felt that he was really trying to say to his players, okay, you've come a long way here, boys, and don't be ashamed and do the right thing out there. Tell me I'm wrong on that. I thought that was interesting.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Let's face it, there's three seniors in that starting lineup that have been to Glens Falls, have won a state title. It's Terry Nichols, Griffin Bauer, and Ben Curley. I think that was a tribute to them, saying goodbye and thank you, because let's face it, New York Mills has won 7 straight section titles prior to this, and you know, a couple of state titles in there, and they finished 20-4. Those 4 losses, Bill, are to 2 unbeaten teams. Number 1 in their state, Mariah, who's very, very good, and you know, 3 losses to Oriskany, who's 24-0, and number 3 in the state. So, you know, there's obviously no shame in that, and you know, I made a point. I love this stat. The last 7 years, New York Mills boys basketball team has either won a state title or their season has ended with a loss to the state champion. So maybe that's a good sign for Oriskany. We'll find out.
Man, and Oriskany was just pounding out some outside shots that were, I mean...
right away they set the tone. Ryan Schmadel, you know, he's their all-time scoring leader, but what I like about this team, and I've written it before, is he doesn't have to score 30 a game for them to win. They've got Schmadel, they've got Marcus Smithling, they've got Kyle Liddy, they've got Seamus Lasher, who plays great defense. They got Anthony Warkup, who spots up in the corner for threes. They've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 3-pointers, but they can also, run the floor too. Yeah. So very athletic. They got guys 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" playing the perimeter. So we'll see this weekend, because I don't know a lot about South Courtright except that they're unbeaten, and one of their wins is over a very, very good Cooperstown team that's still playing. So
Cooperstown. Now we've got just a couple of minutes. I want to get through everybody, and I want to get through the girls too. But no, listen. the Oriskany New York Mills had to be highlighted. It was just a great season.
That
was
the marquee matchup, in my opinion.
Okay. Cooperstown wins as well on the boys' side.
Yeah, super young team. I've written it many, many times. The coach's son, Tyler Bertram, only a sophomore, already scored over 1,000 points in his career. They start a couple sophomores, including a 6'6" Owen Kennedy, who made the last-second block that preserved their 2-point win over Tully. And they got a freshman, Jack Lambert, not built like the Steeler linebacker, believe me, but he's only a freshman, and he's another bomber who shoots threes. I think he had 11 in one game this year, 10 or 11. So, and they're a very young team, and right now they're playing with house money. They've won 10 in a row, and they go against the Section 4 champion also at Whitesboro this Saturday in the regionals.
All right, what else out there?
Well, Notre Dame lost to Christian Brothers Academy in the Class A final. CBA just too strong, ranked in the state, number one in the section, but Notre Dame also young. They only started 2 seniors, including a 1,000-point scorer in Jerome Brabham. But, a point guard, very young, the name, Jalen Warmack. He's only a freshman. He'll be back. Dante Griffin will be back. Trajan Garrett. They've got a very young team, and I think we'll hear from Notre Dame in the future. And then we had, then I covered 3 girls' games on Sunday. So starting with New York Mills in Class D. And so Cassidy Albright in foul trouble right away. Their 1,000-point scorer, their leader on the court, offensively, defensively. She sits out close to 12 minutes in foul trouble. They lose a lead. They come back and regain the lead, and then Copenhagen ties it on a 3-pointer in the corner, and you feel Mills may be a little deflated, and that might have been the dagger, but no way. New York Mills seniors just came back. Albright, Caitlin McKay, Megan Christ played great in the overtime, and then never trailed in the overtime. So they're playing on as a 7th seed who won a section title.
Wow.
And Cooperstown, Cooperstown girls are on a roll. I mean, they're defending state champs. They lost one senior from last year's 25-1 team, and I talked to Coach Mike Niles about it. They're destined to win another state title. I know that's sort of the burden they're carrying, but they're carrying it very well. So I can't see them getting beat. And Whitesboro girls at the end of the night last night, Janesville DeWitt's just too strong right now. They beat Whitesboro for the 4th straight year. It's their 5th straight section title. Whitesboro just offensively challenged in the second half, just couldn't buy a bucket. And Janesville DeWitt just has too many options. Very deep team.
I want to switch, if we could, give a moment to high school wrestling, the state tournament.
I knew you were going there, and
I'm
just writing down some notes because, hey, they put at the state tournament in Albany, they put our area on the map.
No doubt about
Adirondack had a champion in Andrew Tanner, 285-pounder. They had a second-place finisher, Ryan O'Rourke. They had a 3rd and a 4th-place finisher, and they win the Division II team title.
That's huge.
They had a 4 place winners in the top 4. Just incredible. And and Holland Patton, Alex Heronshaw winning a 3rd straight, becomes only the 3rd Section 3 wrestler ever to win 3 state titles. Hunter Richard, only a junior, the coach's son, wins back-to-back state titles as a junior. John Charles, for Central Valley Academy, Bill, 99-pounder, wins a state title. And in the past, Mohawk and Ilion, before the merger, were wrestling powerhouses.
Yeah.
Neither school ever had a state champion.
Yeah.
Here, John Charles is a sophomore.
That is I mentioned that in my story yesterday. Is that it's the first state championship for Central Valley Academy, which has had some really tough teams. But to think that Mohawk and Ilion have never had a state champion through all of those years of wrestling is really incredible. And now that district has their first state champion. So.
Oh, well, in Mohawk, the Forbeses were great wrestlers.
Yeah.
There's a history there. Ilion had some super wrestlers, too. And, they're going to have a state champion again next year, I think, in Tanner Cook. He made it to the finals. And, that's an Ilion name. His father was a great wrestler, and his brothers were as well. So Tanner Cook, only a junior, made it to the finals and finished 2nd. So I'm looking at the team scoring right now, Bill, in Division II. Adirondack first, Holland Patton fourth, Central Valley seventh. I mean, that's
huge.
That's great for this area, and a lot of those guys are coming back next year.
I don't know of another time. There's never been another time that where if you include Sherburne, Earlville in the Mohawk Valley region, if you will, Utica, Rome, Mohawk Valley, portion of Section 3, we had 5 state champions. That has never, ever happened before. Section 3 had 6 state champions. Now, one will say, if you're a wrestling purist, it used to be one division. There used to be big school, small school, and there was no separation between the two.
Right, exactly.
And,
I know. It's sort of like the DH in baseball. I know.
It is. So you have to put a little asterisk there, but still unprecedented, huge, huge weekend for Mohawk Valley wrestlers.
Well, Bill, I'll tell you, there are a lot of those wrestling purists, too, that would argue that Division II wrestling, a lot of those schools are better than Division I wrestling, because let's face it, there are a lot of AA and A schools, the bigger schools, who aren't that big in wrestling. You know what I mean? So I don't think we'll ever know that. I think they've tried in the past to put the D1 champion against the Division II champion. You know, like a tournament of champions. But you know, after you gear up for this all season, it's tough to turn around and do it one more weekend. But they put Central New York wrestling on the map again this year. I think Division II last year, the title was won by Section 3 as well. So
listen,
it's great for the Mohawk Valley.
I MC for Todd Fallon. I MC the Friends of Section 3 Wrestlers Banquet, and they put people into the Hall of Fame every year. And every year I MC that. And there's always a battle between Syracuse and Utica area. So Syracuse versus Utica area. Gotta tell you, we walked away with 5 state champions to Syracuse area's 1. So big day for Section 3, bigger day for the Mohawk Valley. So
that's great. Yes, that's super. In fact, you know, I'm planning on heading up to Holland Patton in the next day or two. I'd like to do something, maybe a feature on the making of a state champion ×3, because what Alex Herenshaw has done, and I believe he's going on to wrestle at Army for West Point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that kind of dedication is not easy to come by these days.
Pretty tough sport. There's no doubt about it. Ron Moshier, you can read all about it in the OD and utica.com. Ron, thanks for coming on again. Another exciting wrap-up of a season, and here we go into Glens Falls. It's going to be really interesting to watch Cooperstown and Oriskany. Yeah,
we've got 2 girls teams, 2 boys teams playing Saturday at Whitesboro. Quadruple header, so I'll be busy again, but at least it's close to home, Bill.
All right, good stuff. Ron, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hold on tight. Kristine coming up next with the news on WIBX.